You ever feel like a puppet? Strings wrapped around your wrists, your ankles, your mind. You walk where they tell you. Speak when they allow it. Think what they approve. And if you dare to step out of line, they tighten the strings until you can't breathe. That's the world you live in. A grand illusion of freedom, where every choice you make is just another move in someone else's game. You see, they don't want you to think. They want you to follow, obey. Be a good little soldier. Work, consume, die, and all the while they whisper in your ear, "You're free, free." Tell me, when was the last time you did something because you wanted to, not because you were told to, tricked into, or manipulated by a system that profits off your obedience? They feed you rules, tell you what's right, what's wrong, what's acceptable, what's not. But who decided these rules? Who benefits from your silence? Have you ever asked yourself that? No, of course not. Because asking questions makes you dangerous. And they don't like dangerous people. But I do. I like the ones who see the cracks in the system. The ones who aren't afraid to burn the script and write their own. The ones who laugh in the face of a world that demands submission. Because here's the truth. The world doesn't want you to be free. It wants you to believe you are. While it slowly tightens the chains. But you don't have to play along. Look around. Do you see them? The ones who follow, who nod, who smile like they figured it all out. They call it success, a good job, a stable life, a nice little box to live in. But take a closer look. That smile, it's fake. That happiness, manufactured, because deep down they know. They know they traded their freedom for comfort, their fire for security, their soul for approval. And here's the best part. They want you to do the same. Misery loves company. After all, if you refuse, if you break the mold, if you dare to be different, they'll turn on you. Call you reckless, dangerous, a failure. They'll laugh at you, mock you, try to beat you back into submission. Not because you're wrong, but because you're proof that they are. You see, the world fears the ones who don't play by its rules. It fears those who don't beg for permission, who don't seek validation, who don't need a leash around their necks to feel safe. Because a person who thinks for themselves, now that is a threat. And here's where it gets funny. The ones who obey, they think they're free. They think following the script means they're winning. But tell me, if you have to follow, if you have to ask, if you have to obey, are you really free? But let's be honest, most people don't want freedom. Not really. They say they do. But what they really crave is certainty, predictability, a cage they can decorate and call home. Because freedom, real freedom, it's terrifying. It means no guarantees, no safety nets, no one to hold your hand and tell you what's next. And that's why the system works so well. It dangles the illusion of choice in front of them. Study hard, get a job, climb the ladder, retire, follow the path, and you'll be rewarded. Step out of line, and suddenly you're the problem, an outsider, a failure. They've designed a world where obedience feels like virtue, where submission is celebrated. You obey the rules, and they pat you on the head like a good little pet. But what happens when you stop playing their game? When you stop asking for permission? When you decide that maybe, just maybe, the world doesn't get to tell you who you are? Then, my friend, things get interesting. But let me tell you a little secret. The moment you stop obeying, the world doesn't collapse. It panics. It scrambles to pull you back in. Parents, teachers, bosses, friends, they all start whispering the same thing. Are you sure? What if you fail? What if you regret this? They don't say it because they care. They say it because your rebellion terrifies them. Your defiance is a mirror, forcing them to see how caged they really are. And that's something most people can't handle. So they fight to bring you back, not with chains, not with force, but with doubt. They plant it in your mind, hoping you'll be too scared to break free. Because if you do, if you truly stop obeying, you become something they can't control. And in a world built on control, nothing is more dangerous than a mind that thinks for itself. And that's why they push so hard to make you fall back in line. Because if one person breaks free, others start to wonder, what if I could too? It spreads like wildfire. a thought more contagious than any disease. Doubt turns into curiosity. Curiosity turns into defiance. That's why rebels are silenced. Not because they're wrong, not because they're weak, but because they're proof that the rules were never unbreakable to begin with. The system relies on obedience, and the moment you question it, the illusion starts to crack. So they will try everything: fear, guilt, shame, anything to drag you back. They will tell you that standing alone is dangerous, that fitting in is survival. But survival at what cost? Living as a puppet, dancing to a song you never chose. No, you were born for more than that, but only if you dare to claim it. And that's why they push so hard to make you fall back in line. Because if one person breaks free, others start to wonder, what if I could too? It spreads like wildfire. A thought more contagious than any disease. Doubt turns into curiosity. Curiosity turns into defiance. That's why rebels are silenced. Not because they're wrong, not because they're weak, but because they're proof that the rules were never unbreakable to begin with. The system relies on obedience, and the moment you question it, the illusion starts to crack. So they will try everything: fear, guilt, shame, anything to drag you back. They will tell you that standing alone is dangerous, that fitting in is survival. But survival at what cost? Living as a puppet, dancing to a song you never chose. No, you were born for more than that, but only if you dare to claim it. But here's the secret: they don't want you to know. You were never truly under their control. It was always a game of the mind, a carefully crafted illusion. They never held chains around your wrists. They only whispered enough lies until you believed you were bound. And belief is a powerful thing. It can build prisons stronger than steel, walls taller than mountains. But belief can also shatter them. The moment you stop playing their game, the moment you realize their power was always borrowed from your fear, you become untouchable. They can threaten, they can scream, they can try to drag you back, but they have no hold on someone who has nothing left to lose. So ask yourself, what are you afraid of? Being different? Being alone? Or are you afraid of finally seeing the truth, that you were never meant to obey in the first place? Because the world doesn't fear the obedient. It fears those who wake up, those who refuse to kneel, those who are free, and you, if you dare, could be one of them. Now tell me, will you?